All right, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. Wow, it seems like the entire session is attended by like 3 people, so we'll do it again. 3, 2, 1. A very good evening, one and all. That sounds more like it. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ridhima. I'm going to be your host and moderator for this evening. And together, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be embarking on a journey through the dynamic landscape of housing finance, exploring the latest trends, innovation, challenges which shapes our industry. Before we begin, can I request all of you to kindly get settled down so that when we start with our strings of panel discussions, fireside chats, we have a complete audience in attention. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3rd edition of India Mortgage Leadership Conclave 2024, brought to you by India Mortgage Guarantee Corporation and Business Standard. IMGC, ladies and gentlemen, is India's first and only mortgage guarantee company formed to facilitate early home ownership and enable financial inclusion. The global economy remains uncertain with slow growth rates and high inflationary trends. And amidst all of this, India shines like a bright spot amidst these turbulent waters. Our country has managed to retain its title of being the fastest economy in the world. And we're all gathered here today in the presence of distinguished luminaries and pioneers of the Indian housing finance industry to actually understand their perspectives, insights, and point of view on the current scenarios. These leaders, ladies and gentlemen, have made massive contributions in spearheading the mission of providing housing to every Indian and actually paved the way for fostering multi-dimensional growth. In India, as you all are aware, the dream of owning a house is deeply ingrained in the cultural fabric and aspiration of its people. It symbolizes a sense of stability, security, and a cherished sense of belonging. For many, it actually represents years of hard work, sacrifice, determination, and actually a testament to the resilience and spirit of our people collectively. Amongst all this backdrop, ladies and gentlemen, the contributions of our esteemed stalwarts have nothing been short of transformative. By pioneering innovative financial solutions and fostering affordable housing initiatives, they not only facilitated access to housing finance, but actually have also empowered individuals and families to realize their cherished dream of home ownership. Their leadership extends far beyond the realm and confines of boardroom to actually resonating in the lives of people they serve. Through their unwavering focus, they have laid the foundation for a more stronger, vibrant community. Their collective endeavors, ladies and gentlemen, have actually touched the lives of millions of people, igniting hope and opening doors to a brighter, bigger, bolder future. As we gather here today, let us celebrate their remarkable achievements and reaffirm a collective commitment to building a more inclusive and prosperous India. On this note, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for your extraordinary support and unflinching dedication to the betterment of the nation called India. At this juncture, I would request to start our exciting and insightful journey and witness the knowledge and expertise that will be shared and disseminated by some of the brightest minds of India. At this juncture, I would like to invite Mr. Shailesh Dobhal, Editor, Business Standard, to render the welcome remarks and get started with this stage.
Thank you, Ridhima. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Business Standard IMGC India Mortgage Leadership Conclave, the evolving ecosystem of housing. The context in which we are holding this event is very interesting. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented the interim budget last week. She stuck to convention. The interim budget did not announce any tax changes or any new schemes. But for the housing sector, there were 2 very important takeaways from this interim budget. First, the targets under the existing rural housing scheme, that is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen, was revised to add 20 million new houses on top of the 30 million that has already been delivered or would be delivered by the end of this financial year, March 2024. Allocations under the scheme, which is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, went up to 54,000 crore from 32,000 crore that is actually spent in FY24. Additionally, the government also announced that it will be coming out with a new scheme for deserving sections of the middle class, urban middle class, who are currently living in rented houses, slums, chawls, and unauthorized colony to build and buy their own homes. Together with this announcement, and if you look at the broader trend of urbanization in India, which is almost an irreversible trend, the last census that we had was 2011. We do not have the benefit of the 2021 census, which is delayed because of the COVID. But projections on the 2021 census tells us that almost 36 to 40% of India's population is now urban. And it goes without saying that urbanization, economic growth, and housing are closely interlinked. There are strong multipliers of real estate where housing is an integral part across the economy, and that cannot be overemphasized. There are various studies, if you look at it, which give you the linkages between construction and the multiplier in the economy. And one study, I think it's the Ahmedabad study, which says there's a 5x multiplier of income and 8x multiplier of employment across the economy from construction. If you look at the bank results of late, home loans have, as a proportion of retail advances, have gone down a little bit, 2 percentage points. They're still at 47%. But if you look at the whole mortgage market in India, as percentage of GDP, that would be roughly 11 to 12%, and it compares very poorly with even developing market like Singapore, Thailand, where I'm told it's upwards of 30%, and not to speak about developed markets like US, the Western Europe, where it's 60%, 70%, even 90% in some markets. So it's obvious that the growth potential of mortgage finance is immense. As Mr. Parikh said in one of the conferences last week, the runway is very large for mortgage finance. The rush to get into mortgage finance equally has been very active of late, and 2 or 3 of the country's biggest banks and insurers in the last month have announced their entry into it. One with the NHB, and then the biggest bank in HDFC, ICICI, and LIC. So in this context, to discuss and debate the road ahead of the evolving ecosystem of housing, we have lined a very stellar panels for you this evening. And to top it all, we'll have the honor of having Mr. Dinesh Khara, Chairman of State Bank of India, and later in the evening, Mr. Deepak Parikh, Board Member of HDFC Life and HDFC AMC, amongst us, to enlighten the audience here and thousands who are watching this program live on Business Standard website on the experience, perspective, and prognosis on mortgage finance. Well, with such firepower waiting to be deployed, I think it will be criminal for me to hog the limelight here. So let the show begin. Over to you, Ridhima. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dobal, for those candid thoughts. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Mahesh Misra, Managing Director and CEO of IMGC. Born out of a vision for facilitating early home ownership and making housing affordable, IMGC's primary objective is risk mitigation for lending institutions by providing a backstop against credit failures and credit defaults. Having partnered with over 20 lending institutions, including banks, housing finance companies, and non-banking finance companies, they have issued guarantees of a whopping 24,000 crores and helped over 1 lakh families realize their dream of owning a home. And I think it would make a lot of sense for Mr. Misra to deliver the opening remarks. So can I request Mr. Misra to make his way on stage?
So, as Shailesh mentioned, it is a crime to hold you for too long, so I won't be very long. Firstly, good evening, everyone, and on behalf of Business Standard and IMGC, I welcome all of you to the third edition of the India Mortgage Leadership Conclave. We last had this in 2019 for a variety of reasons, including COVID. We could not have this for a few years in between. And I was just reflecting on all that has happened between 2019 and now. I mean, firstly, we as a nation are the world's fifth largest economy, slated to be the third largest in 3-4 years' time, seen to be a one bright spot in terms of GDP growth projected north of 6%. The world has its eyes on us, and as most of us know, housing and housing finance have a major role to play in driving this growth. When I also look at our industry, I mean, the housing finance portfolio has grown from 22 lakh crores to a whopping 33 lakh crores between 2019 and now. When I look at annual housing finance originations, they have moved from about 6 lakhs in 2019 when we last had this conclave to nearly 9 lakh crores today. I will obviously not use this platform to plug a little bit about ourselves. In 2019, we had guaranteed just about 3,000 crores. We have grown 8 times since then and guaranteed about 24,000 crores. We have also seen between then and now, interest rates move from 8.5% back then down to 6%, and now again inching back in the 8.5% to 9% range. We saw delinquencies increase a little bit and then flatten, and now they are kind of somewhat stabilizing. The housing finance industry, which had never heard terms like moratorium or restructuring, those terms entered our lexicon. And keeping in mind all that we have seen in the last 4 or 5 years, we have chosen 2 themes for our panels. One is on the need to build resilience, given that we've all seen multiple cycles. And the second really is the growth driver, which is affordable housing, where I would argue that the action has not yet matched the noise. And so therefore, I think the need is to debate what really is affordable.